Hello friends, and hello enemies. I have had this figure for quite a while and I have never opened it. Same with a lot of my Bring Arts figures actually. The only Bring Arts line I collect is the Kingdom Hearts line. And that's because there's no other Kingdom Hearts action figures that are A, any good, or B, in my price range. There's a lot of like, not great, like super cheap Kingdom Hearts figures, and then there's the Play Arts Kai figures, which are larger and pretty expensive. I don't think they're making them anymore, so they kind of go for a ton on the secondary market. But I've been collecting the Bring Arts Kingdom Hearts line. I think I have them all. That is to say, this is not really Kingdom Hearts. I mean, it kinda is, but it's also Final Fantasy, which is also Kingdom Hearts. This is Sephiroth, but it's another form variant of Sephiroth. Basically, it's how Sephiroth appears in Kingdom Hearts. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never played Final Fantasy. I don't really have an attachment to Sephiroth, except when he appears in Kingdom Hearts, because I love Kingdom Hearts. Is it sane to love Kingdom Hearts? No, but I'm here for it anyway. So let's take a look at Sephiroth. Got a very Sephiroth-y front of the box. A nice promo image on the side. More promo images on the back. A lot of words I cannot read. And a sad baby. Sad baby doesn't get to play with Sephiroth, but that is for the best. So I don't really know anything about Sephiroth. I watched that one movie. What was it? Advent Children? I don't even remember if Sephiroth was in that one. Had a lot of silver-haired people, though. Man, when you're an angsty teenage weeb, nothing hits as hard as a silver-haired man. And I mean that literally, too. So yeah, I've never opened this before, but I've had it for a few years now. So we're going to see if this purchase was worth it. The last several Bring Arts that I've opened have been misses, unfortunately. They've had some pretty jarring issues. When the Kingdom Hearts Bring Arts line first started, they were solid figures, but as they made more of the other characters, the newer runs, quality dropped off pretty hard, and I don't know why. So I don't know when about this figure was created. If he was made toward the beginning or somewhere in between, more toward the end. I think in the beginning, because I think I've had him longer than I've had a few of the other Kingdom Hearts figures. 2 clamshells. We've got the boy in one, and other stuff in the other one. It feels wrong to call Sephiroth a boy. He's a man. He's a man. Yeah, I really don't know much about him. Is he an experiment? Is he like a person, or was he born? I don't think this guy was born. I think he was created. Even if that's not true, that's my headcanon. I forgot how swoopy his outfit is. It's pretty swoopy. He's got a lot more weight and mass to him than the Kingdom Hearts ones, and I think that's, well, one, because he's an adult. Because you get adults like Axel in the Kingdom Hearts line, but he's still very, very thin. He's got weird proportions. Sephiroth is also pretty thin in the waist, but he's also not shaped like a string bean like Axel is. No shade against Axel. I love his character design. This is a ridiculous sword. In no reality does a sword need to be this long. Truly outrageous. I am pretty surprised that he seems to be able to stand up relatively well on his own. He's also doing the pelvic thrust pose. Pretty hardcore, if you look at that. That's an anime pose if I've ever seen one. His face is being a little bit blown out by my camera, and I assume that's because of the silver hair against the blue backdrop, but he does have a face. Bright blue eyes. When I was a kid, I thought Sephiroth was Riku's father. Because, I mean, silver hair, blue eyes, predilection toward evil. Riku got over it. I don't think Sephiroth ever does. I really love this wing. It's really beautiful. Just like so many different tones of blue and violet. Really well sculpted. I know he's the one-winged angel or whatever, but I do wish he had 2 wings. And I will say the peg to attach the wing to is kind of small. I was really worried about it breaking. So if you get this guy, be careful about that. Don't just jam it in. I'm still worried about like switching the wing out for this part, just because it seems to be a dangerous game to insert that onto that peg. Very long, beautifully sculpted hair, lighter silver up here, kind of a bluish, darker silver down here, and it's all metallic, so it does really look silver. An accurate representation of his Kingdom Hearts outfit. I see some minor stuff here and there, like where they missed painting the trim here, or like strange spots on the pauldrons. Just minor stuff. Also these, why these chest straps? I guess they keep the pauldrons on, who knows? They're not lined up correctly. I can't really figure out a way to fix them. I think even though there seems to be a cut here, this entire section of torso is immobile, or at least I can't seem to be able to rotate it. Let's see. I guess you probably can, but it's very difficult to get to. But of course, the last few Bring Arts figures we've looked at have looked amazing. Then when you start messing around with them, that's when the whole thing kind of falls apart a little bit. So let's see if Sephiroth is any different. Not much movement in the head because of that long, long hair. Ooh, yep, and his head comes off really easily. I've noticed that's a thing with Bring Arts. At least it goes back on easily, I guess. Pretty good movement in the wing. You get a lot of range with that joint there. You can see right here, this is what it attaches to. I don't have it in all the way, just because I was, like I said, I was afraid to jam it in. And then this folds. So yeah, really cool wing mechanic. Can do a little bit back and forth as well. I foresee over time that joint growing weaker and the wing starting to droop. So that's something to watch out for. Arm up. Rotation. You've got a bicep swivel as well. There's a swivel at the forearm. And the forearm on this one is kind of, I think it was attached wrong, because I can't find the point where it's supposed to bend. There we go. So we've got a small bend for the elbow. A little back and forth on the hand, and some rotation. A little bit of a twist at the waist, but really not much. Oh, there goes his head again. Yeah, this is the Bring Arts experience. I don't dislike Bring Arts because I personally am not someone who likes to pick up their figures and play around with them a lot and whatever. I kind of just put them in one pose and put them on the shelf. But I know that there are some other people who are very, very frustrated by these. Patrick being one of them, the other half of Team Weekly Allowance, who takes the photos. They're great photos, but I know he gets frustrated with these. Pretty good movement on the legs. This is a bit of a traffic cone. The knees are very loose, so that is a problem when you want to pose him. Oh, see, he just bends backwards so easily. You want to keep those knees locked for sure, otherwise he'll just topple over. But the great thing is you don't have to rely on him alone to get him to stand, because you also get this. Just a simple little stand. You get two of these little hooky doodads that can go around his waist. It would be nice if this were a bit of a longer piece. You could have him hovering or flying or whatever. Does Sephiroth fly? He's got a wing, but he's only got one. I showed this earlier, but we also have this curled wing piece, so you can replace that with this one back here. You get some extra hands. Some claw hands? What are these? Why is he making a claw for? And holding things hands, and that's for holding his enormous sword. Ridiculously long. I know it's fantasy. It's Final Fantasy, in fact. Looks cool though, got a metallic sheen on the blade. A really nice sculpt on the handle. So I'm going to switch out his wing. I'm very nervous. Just this joint looks so thin and fragile. I'm scared. I might have to heat him up a little bit. Oh, okay, so I got that other wing piece on, and yeah, it just gives kind of more relaxed look to the wing. Lets it fold around the body in a more naturalistic position. But then his head popped off again, which is annoying, but then I saw that this hair is on its own joint. The stand I'm finding is not very helpful. Most of it is this, what would you call this? The tail of this uniform. It just wants to get in the way of that acrylic rod. Also, he's heavier than the stand, so it's a little bit wobbly. So yeah, I don't know. It seems to be more of a hassle than helpful, really. If I could just get him back in that initial, like, pelvic thrust pose where he was all evened out. He was pretty stable then. Alright, that's not bad. Let's give him his sword. His ginormous sword. He's definitely compensating for something, I think. Does he hold it with one hand? That would be impossible, right? I don't think that's very realistic. Then again, there's nothing about this that's realistic. A sword so insanely long it can't even be completely seen on my viewfinder. But yeah, much like the head, the hands also want to pop off, especially if you're making them hold this sword. Definitely not as frustrating as the Axel figure. That one, his hands do not want to stay on for anything. Probably the most frustrating Bring Arts figure I've ever seen. This one's not nearly as bad, but he is frustrating in his own way. Just there's a lot of different parts to him. Some long a lot of ornamentation, whereas the Kingdom Hearts characters are complicated, but they're not complicated in a way where they have a bunch of like accoutrements coming off of them. But I do appreciate the inclusion of this curled wing piece. That way maybe it'll fit in with the figures on my shelf a little bit more easily. It doesn't have that long wing unfolded. Then again, the wing is kind of to the back, so it could just go like behind other characters. I don't really think the wing is going to be an issue. The sword, however, is just silly. It's silly. I don't need the sword displayed. See, the hands just want to pop off. Anyway, here is Sephiroth against Bringart, Sora, and Riku. And I find the heads for these figures are kind of off scale sometimes. Sephiroth's head is definitely too small. Actually, his whole body might be a little bit too small compared to Riku. I kind of give it a pass for this one though, because it's not explicitly a Kingdom Hearts figure. It's just another form variant or whatever. It just happens to be his Kingdom Hearts look, but it's not really in the Kingdom Hearts line. But I think it works well enough. My camera is really washing out Sephiroth and Riku's faces. It's just the silver hair, I think. But yeah, that's about it for today. Sephiroth fans, please forgive me for my ignorance. Know that I enjoy him in the Kingdom Hearts series, even though he only showed up twice. Once as a boss battle in Kingdom Hearts 1, and then in a weird cutscene in Kingdom Hearts 2, where he and Cloud talk about things that really don't make sense and never come to fruition. But that's Kingdom Hearts for you. As always, likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Comments are more than welcome, and I will see you guys on the next one.